All right, I'm trying to get something else done here in the shop. I had ran a tap through all of these, 1/4 all the way around. I have one here that I'll have Jeff the Machinist. I'll ask him if he can fix that one for me. I'm running a die now on all these, and what I started to do, I was hand tapping on my, with the handle. I'm like, oh, it's gonna take forever, and Gary uses a ratchet. And what I actually did was, first I took this and I squared up the little end so I could put my T-handle on there. And then I was, starting with that to make sure everything's going good, because I don't want to booger that up. And then, once I know that was going good, taking that off, and Gary doesn't like using oil. It's like, you gotta use oil. So then this is what I was doing. Gotta watch that go all the way off of it. It might be a bugger to get it back on. Actually, what I probably should do is put something in there to hold this thing right out to the end. And I cleaned these up. I wire wheeled them as much as I could. I'll even get close to touching anything there with a wire wheel on the angle grinder. I didn't touch any of these on here because I didn't want to do that. And then the rest of it I took and I used some heavy emery cloth around her just to clean them up. And Gary says they don't have to be clean, but I just like stuff looking good. And then so I got this one bolted together. What is I got? I was gonna pull my Clark's oil pan off, but I know Gary had a new one over there. So I went over by Gary's yesterday. Well, I called him to see if I could borrow it. It hasn't even been out of the box yet. Anyways, that's what I'm doing with this. I clean them all up, make sure this pan will fit on there, and then Jeff's gonna use that as a guide to drill out these holes to put time certs in. Now this here crankcase only has one bad one. The other one, all 16 are bad. I will go ahead and check all these for the tins on her. Another thing I did is for my sandblaster, it says I'm supposed to only be running 115 PSI max, and I got my hose going over here with 1/2 inch because they said 3/8 is too small. 3/8 is too small. 1/4 is too small, 3/8 is too small. So I went Harbor Freight. I took Gary there yesterday. I stopped at Gary's to get this. And he said, hey, will you take me to Harbor Freight? He wanted to get a flashlight or one for his hat or something to walk around. I'm gonna take him to the swap meet on Sunday. So, and I was looking on Amazon, they're about the same price for these things, so I picked one up to put over there. Regulator's all I really wanted because I got a pretty good filter system on here, but it's got the water catch on there anyway. So I'll stick that on there because I think I'm gonna damage something over there with that thing with running up to 150 PSI in there. And then here is a top of one of my 140 carburetors, and it was dinged up here. And Gary, when we rebuilt them, he didn't want to use this one because he goes, I'm not 100% it's going to seal good. So, but he has another use for this. So he wants, he said he was going to grind this here off, this nub off here on this side, flat, and the same distance down on this side. And for an air filter to fit on or something, and other than that, then he can use it. I said, I'll do it for you. So I'll do a nice job for him and grind those down for him and, help him out. So that's what I'm doing today or right now. And this afternoon, I'll run into Phoenix and meet with Jeff. So I did the first two. Get this one going here. Come on, old crusty rusty. There we go. These things do got some rust on them. And I don't want to use my drill at the beginning. I just want to make sure it's going to go under nice and straight. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if I have... Well, this is a special one he has for a socket. And he says a snap-on. It costs a lot of money. I don't know. See if I can find one that size. Maybe I have one here. Like I said, I should put something in here to keep this. And I like to use lots of oil. Gary's using oil. I like to hear it working. I'm like, that's crazy. Come on, Gary. Yeah, keep it right to the end of this thing. Real nice, real nice. And then I'll blow that off. And we'll do that to all of these, clean them all up real nice, and then there'll be another problem with this block. This is the one that has one of these studs that are been put in there, been fixed. So I'm gonna put a head on it, jugs in the head, and crank it down that way. I was talking yesterday to Gary about that. So I was talking to Gary yesterday about what somebody suggested, because one of these here has like a time insert or some insert that was in there. Obviously one of these has pulled out and it's been fixed. You can see it's been, it's like a new fix. I don't think the motor's block has been ran. They probably fixed that, and they ran something flat over this, because I didn't file this one. I did over the last one. I just ran real lightly over it on the two top and bottom. But I talked to him about what somebody had suggested on one of the Corvair groups, because I was saying about you know, how are you gonna know? I don't want to build a motor and have one of these pull out, you know, or, you know, you're putting your head on and all of a sudden when these rip out, then you got to tear it back down again. So I got talked to Gary originally. I said, oh, well, we could put like, you know, a set of jugs and head on here and torque them down. And he said 30's like the torque. And he said maybe crank it to 35 to even, you know, even see. But and I said, well, somebody on a group, he said, just put a washer on there, a pipe. Well, obviously I'd put a washer down there, or maybe even a brass washer, so it didn't dig in. And then a pipe with a washer, and put your head nut on there and torque it to specs and see. And I thought, wait, that's great. And then Gary's like, I don't like that idea because it's just pulling right here, and if you mar that, you know, you're done. So I'm like, yeah, okay, you're right, because then you'd have the whole jug in there. So maybe I could come up with, I don't know if it's better to have the whole head on here. More than likely, it's probably better to have them all. He said, put them on there and torque them all down, you know. I was just wondering if I take an old crap junk head and saw it off on each side, so you can just put it on. I don't know if you can put the head into the center, you know, but if the holes are the same, you can saw it off and just stick it on the ones that are bad and just crank them forward. But you know, just to make it a little faster, so I don't have to crank them, put them all on there. But I guess just go ahead and put them all on there maybe, and do a test on it. And then, so that's what we're doing. All right, I got these all done, ran them over with the die, 3/8/24, I believe. So I got them all done, both sides. This is ready to go to Jeff later. I'll take the other one. The other one has them all drilled out Instead of quarter 20s, they're 3/8, like 18. They drilled them out. There's like 4 of them that are stripped and bigger. So those will get all time shirts in. I'm gonna bring it over here. I'm gonna clean up these other outside little holes. And then I know when I was down there in Casa Grande visiting Jeff, he said he needed one of these vent covers for his Greenbrier he just picked up. So I got this and all the screws for him. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to him. I went and pulled it off a vehicle here. I couldn't find any in my storage. I had the ones for like early models, I think. The ovals. I had the sets of them and stuff, but there could be one floating around in there, but this one's pretty nice shape and I got all the screws for it. So I'll give that to Jeff. And I know he's looking for a back door window for the Greenbrier. I looked, I don't have none. I asked Gary, he don't have none. I'll see how bad he needs it. And if he can't get one, I'll pull one off of a Greenbrier for him, you know. All right, so on my motor that's over there in the run stand, when I took this housing off, I noticed my my stud there was what was the one down there? It was a little wobbly and loose, and it came out fairly easy. And I noticed that somebody had just cut a piece of metal and ground it and stuffed it in there. Now, I'm assuming I know who did that. Not Gary, but the Boso. So what I did is I went out in the storage container and I pulled one off of a motor, and it's actually probably a 1/4 inch, almost a 1/4 inch longer. And I took the caliper and checked it, and this piece that someone stuffed in there is a little over 1/1000 smaller than the stud that's actually supposed to be in there. So another little nugget of junk. Yeah, I'm finding things and learning and fixing them. So it's amazing how people just, you know, just stuff anything in there. I don't know. And then I did post on the groups about like flash that's in the motor block. So extra little pieces from casting. Now Bill in Tucson said, yeah, go ahead and, you know, he likes everything nice and clean. And he actually probably polishes his in the inside. But I'm gonna clean some of that up. They said just get the little pieces that, you know, just catch the little pieces. You don't have to go crazy. Now, Bill in Tucson says, clean it all up so the oil slides easier in there and drains fast, you know, smoother and faster. Now, I talked to Gary. He said, yeah, Gary says just take the little pieces off and clean off. And that's what he did with mine. He just took a die grinder and just hit the spots. And mine, one of these holes is like 1/3 shut. I wish you would have seen that. I noticed it when we were building it. But I'm gonna clean these up too on these. And there's other spots too. And I asked Gary, you clean them all. You know, he said, yeah, just clean this like I said, clean the stuff that's you know, loose on there. So there's some stuff inside here too. And I'll stick some pictures on there. And he says, you know, Gary's the opposite way. Bill's like, polish it so it's nice and smooth, and the oil just slides off real easy, and circulates easy more. Gary's catch the small stuff that could break off or come loose, but other than that, leave it in there because it gives more oil, more areas for oil. It cools it more. So everyone's got their different opinions, and I asked on the group too, and they said, you know, unless you're racing the motor, it just clean. He's the same way, Gary. Just knock off the bigger stuff that's loose. That's just pieces from the casting, like little, they call it flash. So anyways, they had a group the same way as Gary. Just clean off the little stuff that could be loose, and unless you're doing a racing motor and all that, you know, don't waste your time. So, all right, learn another thing. Yeah, this is the one that's off 4/1000s here, and it's hardly anything. I'll you know, everything else is machined and it's flat and nice, and just these 2 blocks have it like where it's machined here. So anyways, I'll show Jeff that too, and he's just gonna say the same thing. Just, you know, run your flat edge all the way across it and check it, and then like, you know, this could be machined off a little bit if you had to, I guess, you know, if it's just, but I think it's very minimal. Gasket will take care of that. But so this is the other block, and this is the one that somebody drilled out bigger and put 5/16, 18 in there. I'm just going and retapping them out, using lots of oil, checking them. This is the one this one's goobered up bad. This one's kind of so in there, and we'll see if there's another one in here or not. I'm wondering, because now I looked at the aluminum valve cover from Clark's, the fin one. Those holes are big in there, and 5/16 will fit through them. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to Jeff about it and see about fixing the ones. I'll have to see what he can do, because I don't think he can fix these, because there's not a lot of room on the outside to drill out to put a time stud in. I don't know if there's enough meat on this casting for that. So I'll have to see what he says. I guess I wouldn't have no problem going with ones in here, and you wouldn't have to fix all these. There's one that's broken off in here. I don't know what is in there. It almost looks like plastic or something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to scratch that and see what is in that hole. I'll see what he says. So I'll get these cleaned up, and maybe that's another option. Maybe it's a better option. So, because I thought too, I thought drill out the aluminum fin valve cover bigger, machine it out bigger for the next bolts, but these ones fit right in there. There's not a lot of room, so maybe it would have to get drilled out, you know, machined out a little bigger, or drilled, you know, basically drill it. But yeah, all right, we'll keep at that. I'll probably run these two on the end, run the dye over all these. I'll still have to do the rest of this stuff on here, but I did all these quarter 20s on here. So now we'll see what he says a little later. Well, these bigger bolts, 5/16s, 18s, I do believe they would work if you drilled these out a little bigger, these here holes, because quarter 20s is what you're running there. It just gives you a little room to move it around, I guess. So I'll talk to Jeff about it and see what he says. And man, I kind of wish I would have picked up a valve. That's a valve, an oil. I mean, you can use a metal one, I guess, on here, you know. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know with the bigger bolts and just a stock one. But the fin ones, they had them down in Palm Springs fan belt, but, you know, they were asking, you know, quite a bit. I forget how much Clark's gets for them, but I'll ask Jeff. I think that's the way I'll want to go with this. I don't know. Unless he says, no, we should put time certs in them all. But I just don't know if there's enough meat on the edge of these things, because your bowl holes are like, your holes are right in here. And these, so there's not a lot around there. I think the time he drills that out and puts a time cert in, you know, that's up to him. I'll let him let him tell me what to do. That's what he does. So he'll tell me the correct way to do it. And if this would be fine, we'll go ahead. And there's that one hole, I thought it was a broken bolt or some plastic in it. It was this one here, I think. One of these two. And I just took an awl to scratch it to see what was in there, and it was like some really hard plastic glue in there. popped it out, ran the tap through, and it's nice. So one less hole, so three bad ones. This one's but should get fixed. There's no good threads in the top third of that or so, and it's kind of wobbly. So yeah, that one would have to get fixed too. The rest of them are all fine on here. So we'll see what he says. I'm gonna run the dia on all these quick, and it's probably another good block, you know. So all right, keep better. All right, yeah, these were 1 inch quarter 20s, and these I guess are the correct size to use. Now the ones that I have are the same size. They're 1 1/4 inch long, quarter 20s, same bolts for the valve covers. Now, when I just went over there and put it on and checked, and it don't go in that far, but you have to put a fairly thick gasket on there. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go with the longer ones, 1 1/4 20s by 1 1/4. I'm gonna check mine. Geez. You know, because it doesn't go that far in there, and you could run. I put the valve or the oil pan cover on that one without a gasket on there, and I tightened it up by hand, and it runs all in and doesn't stick through. So I'm like, I'd prefer to have way more threads than a 1/4 inch less threads on there. So you know, you're just asking to get stuff stripped. So I'll probably maybe even change mine. You know. And put the longer ones on there. Why, you know, why not? You know, that aluminum, it just scares me. It's old, and the bolt's been in and out of there a few times. So I might just change mine to the longer ones and always go that route. We'll see. You know, let me know what you guys think. Of course, you guys are gonna think you want longer ones in there. I even ran it into the ones that have a, you know, that don't go through, has a dead end in them, and they run all the way in there. So I don't know, just seems like you should have the longer ones in there and them shorter ones. I don't like that short stuff. Yeah, I got the screws here for you too, and they're taped on there, so they're the same ones. Thanks. I didn't want to blast it because I thought you'd want a crusty maybe to match the other one or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So perfect, thank you.
No problem.
All right, what do we got?
Okay, so this one.
Oh, these are shot.
Well, these ones here, they drilled them out bigger. It's supposed to be quarter 20s.
Quarter 20s.
Yeah. Now, when I put this on there, I'm wondering, instead of, I don't think there's enough room to reinsert these things.
Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go bigger in diameter.
Yeah.
Going bigger in diameter, but these have to. No, I'm gonna have to get.
But I was wondering if we just leave them that size, just fix the 4 that are bad, and leave them.
What are they, 5/16?
5/16. This fits on there, but I would have to, like, you know, this one's not mine. This one I borrowed. I would have to drill them out a little bigger. I don't know the tin one if it would, you know.
I mean, you can open the tin one too, but
sure.
It's just the thing is just once you open your oil pan, it's married to this motor.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be married to here. So I mean, these here now.
I ran a tap through all these all the way around, and these ones are the ones that are toast.
They're shot.
These ones are, toast. There's just, you know, there's some thread more down in the bottom, but, you know.
Yeah, no.
They're crap. Yeah, I cleaned them. I cleaned all these, and just, you know.
Now this is the block from where?
This one here's the one I bought and had shipped from Indiana.
Okay.
This one I bought out in at the fan belt toss. This one's just got one. That's the only thing that's wrong with this one. One hole.
I'll drill that out and plug it. This I'll drill out and plug it. I'll drill it out, plug it, and then this one will get drilled and plugged, and then drilled and retapped. These here ones.
Yeah, I hear you about that one. Yeah, this one's just got one. Everything's all, I ran a tap through all these here already.
These are all quarter 20s.
Yeah, these are all good. Everything's good. I thought there was like, yeah.
Okay. This was
that's just that hole.
Yeah, this will have to be. You got to pick it up. And then what I could do is I could make these straight, pick this up, whatever the distance is from here to here, then from here to here, and then from here to here. They all should be 2 inches, 2.5 inches, whatever the case might be, apart from each other. Then I'll have to bore that out on location, plug it, and then retap it.
Yeah.
Drill and
then
retap it.
yeah, I'm gonna clean up yours, and then I was asking how to test, you know, like the studs that have been fixed, like yours, one of them was fixed. One of these, see, this one has something in it.
Yeah, it's a helicoil.
Is that a helicoil?
It looks,
you think?
Because it's not a king cert.
Because they're bigger.
King cert would be bigger, and then on top of it, you'd have the 2 pins on it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The 2 locking pins.
Yeah.
Plus, you couldn't go with a king cert on this because then you'd break into there.
So you think that'd
be fine.
That's gonna be fine?
That'll be fine.
Yeah, I was like asking how to test it. You know, everyone, you know, it says, you know, just put a set of jugs on and a head and just crank it down to torque and just to double check before you build the motor.
Before you pull it, so you know it's not going to pull.
Yeah, because there's supposed to be 30 pounds of torque on these things.
There's not much on these suckers.
And like Gary said, we could test it with 35 just in case, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But
I would just drop a, you know, it could be a bare head, and you can just put it on there, get them all in sequence, and then go to this one, and then, you know, put your torque to it. But you're going to have to torque them all to get them, so you're not putting all the pressure on this one.
Yeah, because someone on the Corvair said, oh, just put a washer with a metal pipe on there, an air washer, and Gary's like, nah, it's gonna, you know, you're doing a lot of stress just on this one versus not pulling even.
Exactly, you want to pull them even.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. At first I thought, hey, that's a great idea, and I'm thinking, that's just ripping, you know, you're not distributing your pull evenly.
Right, you're not distributing your pressure.
So I'm gonna do that on the block I got from you, and I'm gonna, you know, I'll do this one here. Yours has something different. It's a bigger hole, and it goes in a little farther, and you can see that the threads stick out more on this side. I got a couple pictures of it.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to get from you, you know. I'll do the same thing, you know. I'll test it. So now, yeah, this one's 5,000s here. That one's 4 between here. So I'm like, that's a bunch. I mean, everything else is, you know.
See, it's even here.
Yeah, mine was pretty much even here too. You know, and everything else is fine on this one. That one, I'm like, so I posted again on the groups. I'm like, you know, you guys are saying, oh, mismatched blocks and this and that. I'm like, I'm just gonna file.
I would take a stone. Take a stone. Take a sharpening stone.
Yeah.
You have a stone?
Well, I already put a file on it a little bit and I just knocked it down a little bit. I went by I plugged everything and sprayed it with oil, the rigs, and I took a brand new Nicholson file.
Okay.
I pulled this dowel pin out, which somebody boogered up and made a pin, and it was loose, and it was just a piece. You can see it was a piece of ground brown stock in there. Yeah. And I checked it, and it was 1,000 smaller than the dowel pin. So I pulled one off another block.
Right.
And then I just carefully went like this, and it just evened it up a little bit.
Yeah, you knocked it off.
Yeah, and mine was half of what this is.
Yeah.
So.
But then again, your rear cover was warped too.
So
you know, because this little bit the gasket should take care of. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could even file it down a little bit more if you wanted to.
Well, I didn't file it on here. That's just 5,000.
The other one.
Yeah, the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just file this a little bit. And
that's
like
what you originally told me, and a couple other people. Like, I don't know what you're crying about 2,500s for. You know, that's what you got gaskets for, or the right stuff, right? But
the right stuff. Yeah.
But that you don't put it on this side though, right?
You only put it
on the outside cover.
On the outside.
Yeah.
You don't put it on the engine part. So yeah, your gasket should take care of that.
And I have a gasket. I got one out in Palm Springs. It's like 26,000.
Oh, perfect.
It's thicker.
Perfect. That's perfect. Because your little bit mismatch right here, it'll suck up into the thicker gasket.
Yeah, I think it's Mike's Corvairs out of California.
Yeah.
He only had one. Ours I would have bought like
a dozen.
I would have got a bunch. I would have get Gary some, whoever need. I put on the shelf. You know, they were like $8. So
cool.
But should I use some right stuff anyways on there?
I would still put right stuff.
Put a little bit
on the rear housing. I'd still put it right. Just smear it.
Yeah.
You know, don't gob it on there. Just smear,
a real light.
Yeah.
You got to let it dry a little first, or no? Just go ahead.
I don't. I just put it on there.
All right. Because, you know,
So,
I ask those questions and you get 100 different answers online, you know.
you don't know which one's right.
And then you don't know, you know.
Yeah, so these are 5/16 18. By the way, hi. I didn't,
That's Ronald.
sorry.
Yeah, 5/16 18, yeah.
I'll get these back to 5/16 18 on location.
Yeah.
And then this one here,
It's just a one.
nothing here. Everything here is, oh, this is the side.
Yeah, this one here is just a one.
Okay. You got one there.
Just
That's
a
fine.
one. Like I said, this morning I went and tapped all this out, and
Yeah, this is going to have to be plugged.
yeah,
That'll have to be plugged.
yeah, it's
So-
pretty goobered up.
Yeah. So, easy peasy.
So hey guys, so that was Jeff the Machinist. That's what I'm calling him. That's what I told him to call me. Kind of laughed about it, but he's such a nice guy. I met him a while back this year. He had posted a rear end for sale and a newly rebuilt one, and I drove down to his place about an hour from here, halfway to Tucson, and yeah, he's into Corvairs a little bit, and very cool guy, super good machinist, and that's all. You know, he's smart with that. He really knows his stuff and the way to fix stuff correctly, and so I do enjoy being able to talk to him and ask him questions, because you know I'm still trying to learn, and like I said, it's hard when you post. I don't know if I think I'm just gonna pick and choose who I ask questions to, because I post stuff on some of the Corvair groups, and I just get, you know, there's so many people that tell you stuff, and you do get some information that's probably not so good, and it's kind of hard. You kind of got to weed it out and figure out what most people are saying is the correct way to do it, like with pulling the studs with put a pipe on it. I thought, hey, that's a great idea. But then even kind of when I was thinking about it too, I'm like, you're just pulling a lot of weight in one area, and it's probably not the right way you should do it. So yeah, this is the one I got from Jeff. I got to clean this one up too, and do a test on it for that stud. Now, do I need all these engine blocks? The reason I have them all is because when I posted on a group that they're like, hey, that's definitely two incorrect blocks, and I'm getting kind of screamed and yelled at about, you better not run that, and stuff like that. And a lot of people kind of said that, but I think my picture was kind of deceiving, because it was a very close up, and you know, I had the flashlight in there, and it was zoomed in real good, so it looked like, you know, you can't stick a finger through it, but it looked like a big gap, you know, and it actually was, you know, half of what one of the other blocks was that Jeff has. Now I'll put, this one here still, I gotta put this one together and see if this one is too, you know. But now Gary was Gary's, he had taken apart that one, and it was flat, but maybe because it was together, maybe if they're apart, they're I don't know. But when you bolt them, I don't know, learning. So anyways, well, I told Jeff no rush on them. He was happy. He's like, how much I owe you for that? It was the passenger side of grill, like for down by the door. How much I owe you? I said, dude, you don't owe me nothing, man. I owe you a lot, because you've really helped me out a lot lately, you know. And I didn't even want to even call or message him about fixing this stuff, you know. I don't want to ask people, and he's a very nice guy. As soon as Jeff seen the post, like, you know, I posted like a half hour later, he was calling me, you know, what's up? So anyways, I said, take your time, whatever. I told him what I'm doing with this one, and he said, yeah, use like a stone on it. So I mean, I might put some oil on here, or oil a stone, a real fine one, and just, do I have to go that far? Probably not. I'm sure it's fine, and hopefully that fixes this problem. So maybe Monday I'll get Gary over here. I could probably put this together by myself, but I just, you know, I told him I'd pick him up, and we'll throw that together. And I think for peace of mind, if it's not leaking and fixed, Gary would be happy too. So maybe Monday. Today's Saturday morning, and I will, tomorrow morning, I'm picking up Gary at 4:15, and he's all geared up to go out to the swap meet, just sell it out in Glendale. And we'll be walking around and videoing that and talking to people and having a good time. He really enjoys it. He really enjoys getting out of the house and walking around. And I was really surprised last time because I was already ready to go. And he's like, "Oh, let's. I want to look at a few more stands." I'm like, "Hey, okay." You know, I thought you'd be all tuckered out by now. So. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong, doing something right. Give me a thumbs up. The comments have been great. You know, let me know if I'm saying incorrect terminology of stuff. You know, like I said, I'm still learning, but hey, I'm getting for 4 months now. I've been working on it and pretty much every day and learned a lot. And these guys are helping me, and hopefully the videos are helping somebody else. We gotta get some more young guys interested in Corvairs to keep this going. Please subscribe to our channel, Bink's Corvair Addiction. We need to get our numbers up on that. Would help us out greatly. And then I guess, well, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bink's Corvair Addiction.